My guy at Master Control just came in. He said, Innocent, you really love this guy, man. I love his music. Yeah, I love this. Like I said, this is a very reassuring song. Yeah. Never ever. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to you, my people. I hope you're having a wonderful day thus far. I hope one of the songs, or if not all, at least one, will change your perspective on the day. Remember to think happy thoughts, right? Positive thoughts. Yeah. Alright, it's that time again when we do that link up. Those of you who are joining us for the very first time on Good Morning Grenada, well, welcome. This is where we set you in that frame of mind to face the challenges of the day, keeping you abreast with what's happening, of course. You know, that's the real intent of radio, the intent of the media, to inform and entertain you. We place the emphasis on a balance, okay? Yeah, we keep you informed while fully entertained as well, keeping you in the know. And as is customary this morning, of course, we've got the word of the day for you. And we'll head straight to it because we've got the March 13th quiz coming up. And the word of the day this morning is a nice word. It's an adjective. And that word is laudable. Laudable. And laudable means worthy of praise and is a synonym of commendable. Or in other words, it is synonymous to commendable. Worthy of praise. Yeah. We can use, well, firstly, let's see how it is spelled. It is spelled Laudable. Laudable. Worthy of praise. Synonymous with commendable. All right, and here's how we can use the word. Thanks to the laudable efforts of dozens of volunteers, the town's winter carnival was an enjoyable event for everyone. We can put that word in context by saying this: empowering black and indigenous owned businesses, creating pathways for black and indigenous home ownership, and funding scholarships for black and indigenous scholars are all laudable aims. So remember that. Write it down, learn to spell it, learn to pronounce it, but most importantly, learn to use it in your speech and your writing. Yeah, learn to converse with it. Yeah, give your children some laudable comments today. Let them, give that, motivate them to do good things, man. Fathers, once again, I urge you, remember that your role is different, significantly different to that of the mother. Mothers are usually, approached for affection and tenderness and so forth, but the blessings come from the father, right? Yeah. Nice. You heard that from Joel this morning. Now, to my good friend out there in Crow Shoes, she looks forward to the thought of the day, and of course, I have to reiterate it. She says, you must always repeat it as many times as possible because it gives me a good vibe. Good morning to you, my dear friend. All right, this morning it says, life is a most difficult exam. Many people fail because they try to copy others, not realizing that everyone has a different question paper. That is so true. Yeah, everybody wants to copy somebody. We tend to live in a copycat society, yeah? You remember just around Christmas time when there were a whole lot of, robberies, break-ins, and so forth? Copycat. You hear of this one happening and, you feel you could try it too. But, we all have different exam papers, so don't try to copy someone else's life. My test won't be yours. So remember this, life is a most difficult exam. Many people fail because they try to copy others, not realizing that everyone has a different question paper. Be you, do you. Nice. 23 minutes on to the hour of 7 o'clock. We've got the news, okay? At 6:45. And for the stories that are buzzing, well, before we go to that, I want to inform you that this morning I will be joined by Minister responsible for Agriculture, Fisheries, Cooperatives, Senator the Honorable Adrian Thomas. We'll be talking about the youth in business, youth in agriculture. Yeah, we'll have that conversation this morning. So we look forward to that conversation. And subsequently, we'll get the opportunity, I hope, to look at some of the buzzing stories. And what's buzzing? Oh my goodness, this one is just, heart-wrenching. An early morning accident at the Morris Bishop Highway. It claims the life of one young male. And in this instance, it's not just an ordinary young male. It's the son of a very, how should I refer to Sylvan? He's part of the GBN's family. A very prominent young man. Yeah, although he's retired from the police force, but he's still a young man. My heart goes out to you, man, and we here at the GBN, we extend our deepest condolences to you and the family and urge you to be strong at this time. Also buzzing this morning, Emmanuel Williams is the man charged for Grenada's first homicide in 2023. Williams made his first court appearance at the St. George's No. 2 Magistrates Court on Monday without an attorney. His face bore medical dressings on injuries he supposedly sustained as a result of the altercation. Williams was charged with non-capital murder for causing the death of 35-year-old Curlin Peterkin of Montrush, St. George. All right. Another buzzing story, an incident that occurred at the Maurice Bishop International Airport on the 22nd of February has led to a former ambassador to Grenada seeking legal counsel. We'll hear a little bit more about that in the AM edition of News, Sports and the Weather. Nice. And the National Democratic Congress elected its national executive team at its 2023 convention on Sunday. That's also buzzing. Good. Congratulations to all those who were appointed to their new positions. All right, Hillsborough Carriacou on the 6th of March. More than 200 feet of concrete pavement has been constructed in Cherry Hill, in keeping with a promise to residents of the area from the Ministry of Carriacou and Pedimatnic Affairs and Local Government. The material cost of the project was approximately $17,590.30, with labor provided by the members of the community. Wow, that's nice. All right, Community Development Officer within the Ministry of Carriacou and Pedimatnic Affairs and Local Government, Roxanne Cox-Frank, said she was impressed with the community spirit in getting the job done. The removal of a boulder, which for many years limited access by utility companies and emergency service, and now the construction of the new concrete pavement will provide easier access to the Cherry Hill community. The boulders removal was a collaborative effort between the Public Works Division and Maxo's Equipment. Wow. Good morning, Carriacou. That's the way to go. That's the way to go. So these are the stories that are buzzing, and we hope to, like I said, after our conversation with Senator the Honorable Adrian Thomas, we hope that we have sufficient time that we can look at one or more of these buzzing stories. Let's see what's happening as it relates to the March 13th quiz. Yesterday we had Joy St. Louis of Moya in St. Andrew winning answering the question and therefore winning himself a prize. I'm yet to know what the prize is, but I know Joy is going to enjoy it, and maybe, he's a very generous guy. Maybe he'll just, if it's a trip for two to Europe, maybe he'll just... Good morning, the St. Louis family. Hope you all are doing fine. Janice and the entire family, good morning to you all. So by now, you know the number that you got to call for the quiz. It's 435-2041. Let's see, let's look at the quiz this morning. Now, in 1979, the PRG established the National Commercial Bank, or NCB. The question is, what was the purpose for which NCB was established? And we have a list of answers here. A, to provide loans on favorable terms to Grenadian businesses and individuals. Right. B, to give the PRG monopoly control of the banking sector. C, to provide a source of finance for the PRG to supplement taxes. And D, to provide loans on favorable terms for farmers. So give me a call, 435-2041. Let's see if you've got the answer correct. And just like that, win yourself a very wonderful prize. All part of the March 13th Celebrations Committee. 435-2041. Let's head to the telephone line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And where are you calling me from?
Peter C. Library in St. George.
Library. How's the library this morning?
The sun looking right.
Okay, the sun looking good?
Yeah.
You enjoyed the moonlight last night?
Yeah.
All right, good. And what's about Love Man? You know Love Man?
Yeah.
All right, tell him morning for me, right?
Okay.
Good. You think you have the answer for me now?
I think it's A.
You think it's A?
Yeah.
All right, and let me see. A says to provide loans on favorable terms to Grenadian businesses and individuals. How confident are you?
Sure.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, well, tell you what, you are correct, okay? The answer was to provide loans on favorable terms to Grenadian businesses and individuals. So what I want you to do is stay on the line. I'm going to take your information off the air, okay?
Sure.
Good. Nice. All right, I want to say congratulations to Sylvina Charles of Library in St. George. She is correct this morning. Yeah, the answer is to provide loans on favorable terms to Grenadian businesses and individuals. Folks, this is where we got to wrap up this segment because we've got to give you the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather. But quickly, before we run off, let me remind you of what the word of the day is. The word of the day today is that word, laudable. And it means worthy of praise. And remember, it's a synonym of commendable. All right, and the thought of the day, it says, life is a most difficult exam. Many people fail because they try to copy others, not realizing that everyone has a different question paper. So we've got to take that break. Those of you on television, we've got the rebroadcast of last evening's television news. And for those of you who are locked here with me on K105, we've got the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather. Stick and stay with us. We'll be right back after this with the news.
someone to help you to your feet. I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. Oh, I'll be right next to you, no, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands, we got everything we need. Cause you can look to me whenever you're in need. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side, never to divide. To light that shines our way. Wherever your road leads, we'll be right there with you. Wherever your road leads, we'll make your dreams come true. Next side, next side, next side, right next to you.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Good evening. This is GBN's News at 7. An early morning accident on the Maurice Bishop Highway claims the life of one young male.
32-year-old Asher McIntyre of Manhattan, St. George has been identified as the latest road fatality victim for 2023. GBN received information Monday morning that a male individual was knocked down by a vehicle and killed along the Maurice Bishop Highway. The accident occurred just around 4:30 Monday morning. The victim was later identified as Asher McIntyre. It is believed that McIntyre died on the spot. Asher was the son of former Superintendent of Police Sylvan McIntyre. GBN was informed that the driver of the vehicle was brought into the traffic department on the Carnage St. George. Our news desk reached out to Sergeant Kevin Williams, attached to the traffic department at South St. George Police Station, who provided this update.
I can confirm that sometime around 4:30 a.m., the morning of 6 March 2023, officers from the station, the South St. George Police Station, responded to a call of a motor vehicle accident along the Maurice Bishop Highway. That accident was reported to have occurred in the area close to the breweries or close to East Highway along the southbound lane of the highway. On arrival on the scene, we observed the motionless body of a male and an SUV van in the mentioned area. The district medical officer was called in, and unfortunately, after the examination was done on the body by that DMO, the said male was pronounced dead. We conducted our preliminary investigation on the scene, and up to this time, this accident is under active investigation as we speak.
Contrary to speculations that it was a hit and run, GBN understands the driver is in police custody and the vehicle involved in the accident is in the possession of the police. GBN reached out to the father of the deceased. However, he was too distraught to speak to the media. General Manager at the Grenada Broadcasting Network, Odette Campbell, issued a statement on the Junior McIntyre's passing.
ASP Sylvan McIntyre is family to the GBN, and therefore we were shocked, saddened, heartbroken, and words cannot express how we felt when we got the news this morning that his son transitioned following that accident on the Grandans motorway. We extend our sincerest condolences to Superintendent McIntyre and all other members of his family. We pray God's grace, his strength, his mercy, and everything that he will need and the family will need at this time to deal with this matter. May God continue to strengthen them.
A number of other accidents were reported on the weekend. Members of the Royal Grenada Police Force Traffic Department had a task on hand Sunday morning to free a driver of an Escudo which was involved in a serious accident. Reports are that the Escudo and a police-branded pickup truck collided along the Belmont Main Road in the vicinity of Regis Palm. The driver of the police vehicle was rushed to hospital while the lawmen worked feverishly, using the jaws of life to free the other driver. The driver, who was pinned in his vehicle, was freed and rushed to the General Hospital. Reports are that he suffered a broken leg. Another accident was recorded at Lower Depredin Street, Goa, St. John. The vehicle crashed into a utility pole, causing damage. Occupants in the vehicle sustained minor injuries. One accident was also reported in Boucheju, Karakou, involving a jeep and a bike. The biker was flown to mainland and is warded at the General Hospital. Christina John, GBN News.
The accused in the first homicide for 2023 has been remanded to His Majesty's prison, awaiting his next court appearance later this month.
Emmanuel Williams is the man charged in Grenada's first reported homicide for 2023. Williams made his first court appearance at the St. George's No. 2 Magistrates Court on Monday without a representation of an attorney. His face bore medical dressings on injuries he supposedly sustained as a result of the altercation. Williams was charged with non-capital murder for causing the death of 35-year-old Colin Pitterkin of Montrush, St. George. The incident occurred during the late hours on Thursday, the 2nd March 2023 at Montrush, St. George. According to sources, the incident derived from an altercation between the accused and two other men. However, the female intervened. Williams will make his next court appearance on March 27th. Christina John, GBN News.
An incident that occurred at the Maurice Bishop International Airport on February 22nd has led to a former ambassador to Grenada seeking legal counsel. Beverly Telesford brings us up to speed in this report.
Former ambassador to Grenada, Oleg Ferrer, has retained the services of attorneys Cajetan Hood, Benjamin Hood, and Dillon Charles after claiming he was refused entry into the country on February 22nd, 2023, and having his diplomatic passport confiscated. The lawyers called a press conference on Friday, but subsequently recanted the statement and rescheduled a press conference on Monday. Attorney Cajetan Hood gave an account of what he said transpired between his client and immigration officers when his client landed in Grenada on the day of the purported incident.
Our client was then required to board the next flight back to London, where he traveled from, and there was no further reason given to him for denying him entry to Grenada. There was no question asked to him regarding his purpose. So the immigration officer didn't even ask him, well, what are you doing here? What's your purpose? Why are you traveling to Grenada?
According to the attorney, Mr. Ferrer had been in communication with the permanent secretary and was asked to avail himself for a meeting in Grenada between February and March this year with respect to the handing over of duties, one of the reasons he was traveling to Grenada.
Prior to the last elections in June 2022, he was informed by letter from the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that he would be recalled from the posting that he held in January of 2023, January this year. Our client was contacted by the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and asked to participate in a meeting with the ministry with respect to a handing over of duties. So in my respectful view, up to January 2023, and based on the manner in which he was approached by the permanent secretary, who is the highest public official in the ministry and takes instructions from the minister, he was regarded still as an official of the government of Grenada.
Ferrer is a United States citizen and used his U.S. passport to enter Grenada from the UK. According to the lawyers, the former ambassador was asked if he owns a Grenadian passport apart from the diplomatic passport, to which he responded no, but relayed that he had already instructed a legal firm in Grenada to process his acquisition for an ordinary passport. According to his attorneys, apart from his diplomatic appointment, he also has private interests in Grenada. It is alleged, based on Mr. Ferrer's testimony, that he was not allowed to enter the country based on orders handed down to the immigration officials by higher-ups. Hood said a letter was drafted to be issued to the government.
We have drafted a letter to the Prime Minister and Minister responsible for immigration in that capacity. seeking a resolve of the situation. Our specific instructions from our plan are to the effect that he would prefer if the matter can be handled as amicably as possible. Because having been associated with Grenada for these years, having been associated with promoting Grenada as a country where investors can come and tourists should come, he does not want to turn around because of one event and sully the reputation of Grenada, even though his reputation has already been sullied.
The National Democratic Congress-led government, on assuming office last year, adopted a policy decision to recall and review all of Grenada's diplomatic postings abroad. GBN reached out to the Foreign Affairs Ministry on Friday and Monday, but was unable to reach Foreign Affairs Minister Joseph Andel. Attempts to locate the Prime Minister were also futile. GBN had posed a question to Legal Affairs Minister Claudette Joseph on Thursday.
This is not a matter in relation to which I have all of the relevant information. So what I would suggest you do is that you defer to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and they will be better placed to answer your question.
Reporting for GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
As reported in the 2023 budget presentation, government's 100% relief from Common External Tariff, that's CET, and value-added tax, that's VAT, on production equipment to support the creative economy took effect from March the 1st. The 100% concession on production equipment includes storage media, art supplies, studio equipment, and audio and visual production equipment. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell made the announcement on Monday, December the 5th, 2022, during the budget presentation, where he, as Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, listed the creative economy among his government's top 5 priority areas for the government's first term in office.
Through the establishment of Grenada's first ever Creative Industries Development Fund, we will invest in registered creative businesses that are focused on the global export of products, services, and content. Of note, in this first year, Mr. Speaker, is the implementation of special fiscal incentives for the creative industry, including 100% concessions on CT and VAT for selected equipment for 12 months starting February 1, 2023.
The February 1st date was subsequently pushed back to March 1st. The COVID-19 pandemic opened a new window for productive and economic activity through virtual entertainment. The creative economy is derived from the creative industries occupied by musicians and producers, artists, vloggers, and the like, who have successfully monetized social media and the arts in recent years, especially during the pandemic. The creative industries involves advertising, fashion design, performing and visual arts, photography, music, architecture, film, podcasts, and computer programming. The National Democratic Congress revealed its national executive team at its 2023 convention on Sunday. Beverly Telesford has the details.
9 people have been replaced on the ruling party's national executive. Delegates from the ruling National Democratic Congress, NDC, voted at the party's 2023 convention on Sunday, March 5th, to install a 17-member executive. Some old executive members opted out of serving, while others were appointed to serve in different positions. The new party chairperson and deputy chair are Sylvester Qualis and Randall Robinson. They last served as deputy chairman and assistant public relations officer, respectively. Also serving in a new role as recording secretary is Tessa Sincere. Former recording secretary Cindy Henry replaced Tarisha Fortune and currently serves as assistant recording secretary. Public relations officer is Orlando Romaine. Newly adopted assistant public relations officer is Terrence Forrester. He replaced Randall Robinson. General secretary is Larry Barry. Assistant general secretary for the Western Zone, Rifle Paul, replaced Rick Elson Scott. Assistant general secretary for the Eastern Zone, Lindy and Dot, Barton replaced Belinda Charles, and for the Southern Zone, Azam Rahman replaced Ron Redhead. Treasurer is Andrea St. Bernard, and Labor Relations Officer is Andre Charles. The new floor members replacing Lennox Andrews, Elwin McQuilkin, and Garvin Pierre are Josephine Blash, Osbert Charles, and Terrence Moore. Political leader Deacon Mitchell and Deputy Political Leader Joseph Andel are the only two elected members in the lower house of Parliament on the executive. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell introduced the members, saying the team is one filled with diversity.
When you look at the team, it's not me that said, it's he that said. We have a mixture of youth, talent, enthusiasm, power, intelligence, beauty, and we are ready to move Grenada forward. Transform Grenada forward. Remember what I said in October 31, 2021. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, NDC all the way.
Guest speaker at the convention was Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, Deputy Prime Minister for the ruling St. Kitts Labour Party. Reporting for GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Dame Janice M. Pereira, says she awaits the construction of Grenada's Halls of Justice. The Chief Justice was addressing the implementation of the ECSC e-litigation portal for Grenada Magistrates Courts last week.
Happy also that Grenada will very soon, perhaps during my tenure, see the halls of justice in Grenada, a green, proper space that will ensure that our environment is safe as we move more and more towards technology, and I thank the Attorney General and indeed the government of Grenada for that support. I look forward to it. Even if I am not here, I will be following to see what progress the courts are making in this regard. It has been a long, long journey, and I hope that at some point we get there.
Attorney General and Minister for Legal Affairs, Senator Claudette Joseph, during the 2023 budget presentation, told the nation that the year 2024 will see the construction of Phase 1 of the Halls of Justice, as money has already been allocated to start the process.
Project. President, members of this House, you will see that $3 million has been allocated for the first phase of the construction of a new Hall of Justice for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Macoy. A Hall of Justice will provide a permanent home for the judiciary, just as the legislature has a permanent home. This initiative, as I said, Madam President, is a carryover from 2011, when last serious attention was given to the judiciary. All things being equal, and if everything goes well, Madam President, we should see ground being broken on this project as early as January 2024.
It was the sounds of victory on the street of Crowshoe St. Andrew, with pans and buckets, whistles and bottles, rags and flags. It was a celebration. More in this report.
Today was declared Red Monday at the St. Martin de Porres Catholic School. Staff, parents, students, and well-wishers were all cladded in their red attire in celebration of the school's double victory at the St. David's GUT Primary School Games held last Friday. The title was last held by the St. Joseph's RC School Pomrose, who placed second, tying with Corinth's Government School. Principal Kester Lyon says it is an overwhelming feeling.
Well, as you're aware, we have not had brand sports for quite some time. So for the last couple of years, because of COVID, we were not allowed to have any mass gathering, and so as a result of that, there was no sports. And prior to that, because of industrial action taken by teachers, we also did not have sports. So it was quite a while we did not have brand sports. But coming out this year, after a long time, to have brand sports and coming out on top, not just in the athletics, the running, the track events per se, but also the match pass. So we are really celebrating a double victory. I think it's the first time that we have experienced that in the school, and today we're really, really elated for that.
This is how the day rolled out.
So this morning we had an assembly. Mm-hmm. We had praise and worship, and then we had some congratulatory messages. We invited our district education officer, our schools manager. There are other persons who would have worked closely with the school, and we wanted to recognize the students and the coaching staff, our volunteers who would have worked very, very hard. This was followed with a treat. We had a special lunch for our athletes and also for our marchers. So we treated them with a special lunch today. And later on, we had a street parade where we went out in the community, and we took to the streets, and we also had a lot of our parents and our well-wishers coming out to support us. And for that, we are very, very grateful. One of the things that we have, and we're not short of, is parental support. And we are extremely happy to see that, to know that we have our parents behind us with almost all our activities.
Here are some highlights. Mr. Lyon says they are looking forward to the next year. Christina John, GBN News.
Let's now take a peek through the GBN eyesore lens to see a proud pet owner and his wish to see a new generation of pets.
A good eye captures all. GBN eyesore is brought to you by Clear Vision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. Clear Vision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Clear Vision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
Our citizen journalist tonight sent in video footage of his pet tortoise, Lizzie. Lizzie has laid eggs for the third time in 5 years. Unfortunately, none of the eggs of the past 2 occasions produced hatchlings. Our ISO reporter says it takes about 8 to 10 weeks for the eggs to hatch. Let's hope that this time there'll be hatchlings, he added. Lizzie shares the living space with a male tortoise named Michael. Our ISO line is open for your submissions. Send us a photo or a video via WhatsApp at 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Shop at Southern Electrical for all your security camera needs. We offer a wide variety of cameras such as solar cameras with or without lights, 4G cameras, Wi-Fi and PoE kits, 4, 8, and 16 channel, replacement cameras for PoE, standalone Wi-Fi cameras, floodlights with cameras, watch cameras, pen cameras, and much more. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grenada, St. George. Let us help you with your security needs. Southern Electrical, best value, expert advice, quality products.
You ate well, drank and indulged, laughed and had so much fun for the festive season. But now it's time. It's time for some serious detox business at Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Start the year right with your health as a priority. Cleanse and flush your blood, liver, and kidneys with quality herbs and supplements. Purchase one of our detox combo packs starting from $100. Purchase a full body detox pack starting from $500. Get 10% off on colonic irrigation. Get a chance to win a free colonic irrigation treatment and product coupons with every purchase. We are located in Grandin, minutes before the Food Fair Shopping Center, immediately opposite the old Capital Bank building in the Regency Commercial Suites. Give us a call at 231-6642 or 418-7115 or visit nirvana.gd for more info. It's time for some serious detox business at Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. We know real body care. This offer is valid until March 31st, 2023. Terms and conditions apply.
A whole new level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
God bless you. This is Pastor Donnie McClifford, and I'm coming to the island of Spice. That's right. I'm coming to Grenada on Friday, April the 7th at 7 p.m. at the National Stadium. It's going to be a fantastic night of praise and worship that will bring glory to God and start a revival throughout Grenada. And I want to give special honor to all of the pastors that are working tirelessly throughout Grenada to make this possible. I come to pay honor to you as well. Don't forget, Friday, April the 7th at 7 p.m. at the National Stadium. Donnie McClurkin in concert in Grenada. I'll see you there.
Last week on Our Climate Reality.
For the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, all countries are reporting on their greenhouse gas emissions. The agriculture sector is a big sector in many of the countries, and many of the reports from most of the countries. So in some ways, they're able to capture some of the information.
Impacts that are common, incipient, and that have devastating effect on the agriculture if you're not prepared. If you're not prepared in terms of the mechanisms that you use in your production processes. So you're talking about the extreme weather events.
Most soil conservation methods, given the fact that you see all these flash floods and things in the current situation with climate change, you need to have, for example, terracing, strip cropping. With the terracing, especially, topography is basically undulating in Grenada. So you want to prepare soil in a way to protect them from excess rain, so that when the rain falls, the terracing is like step light. They wouldn't just come down with a gush. So in so doing, you protect yourself.
Join us this Wednesday on GBN TV, K105 FM, and GBN's Facebook page and YouTube channel at 8:30 p.m. on Our Climate Reality, as Mr. Terrence Smith, Dr. Everson Peters, and Dr. Adrian Cashman discuss water and climate change. Our Climate Reality, made possible by Republic Bank, Hubbard's, and Classic Lighting.
safety is always a top priority, and this is no different from the COVID-19 vaccines.
The COVID vaccines that we have available are very effective and safe, and it is very important for elderly persons and frontline health workers and other frontline workers to get it, because these vaccines protect you from becoming ill if you get COVID.
As COVID-19 vaccines are approved for use in the general population, monitoring for safety continues. Each COVID-19 vaccine goes through the same clinical trials and rigorous study as with all other vaccines, with the focus on safety and efficacy.
Nothing goes into the nucleus, nothing affects the genetic code of the human. It is a very safe vaccine. This is a vaccine that we all need to take because it will keep us safe.
Vaccines bring us closer. Choose to get vaccinated.
No, that's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop. You look left, you look right. If there's a vehicle coming, you put your hand out, making eye contact with the driver, indicating that you want to cross. And only when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, you quickly cross to the other side.
Stop.
All right, viewers and listeners, welcome to this segment, The Conversation. And as promised, as hinted this morning, earlier I said to you that I will be having a very distinguished gentleman on the program this morning, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome via our Zoom platform Minister with responsibility for agriculture, fisheries and cooperatives, but he does a lot more than that. My good friend, Senator the Honorable Adrian Persuader-Thomas. Good morning, Senator. Good morning, good morning. Oh, okay, we seem to be right, good. Are you in close proximity to your microphone? I'm hearing you very muffled.
Yes, very close proximity.
Okay, right. Okay, are you hearing me clearly? Okay, you stay right there. Let me get my technical guy to come deal with this. We seem to be experiencing a technical glitch. We'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right there.
Island Style's annual Easter clearance sale is here, and boy, do we have some exciting deals for you. Massive savings on tiles to be had, with discounts from 10 to 35% off on all tiles, store-wide. Buy all we have in the low stock model and watch your discounts skyrocket with a huge 15% off. Plus, get chip edge tiles for as low as $1. Yes, we're clearing out our old stock to bring in the new. And that's not all. The Easter Bunny has added extra savings on tubs, bathroom vanities, tile tools, and so much more. It won't get any better than this. Jump on these excellent deals and visit our Island Style showroom on Monroe Road in Grandans or call 439-TILE. That's 439-8453. Sale ends Holy Saturday. When you think tile, think Island Style.
Get ready to witness the ultimate sporting spectacle at the Horizon National Athletics Championship 2023. This two-day event is taking place on March 11th and 12th at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium with a jam-packed schedule of middle and long-distance races, sprint races, field and jump events. This is an event not to be missed. Come see Track Blazers, Ace, 473 MVP, Fusion, Rising Stars, Velocity, New Track Club, and schools will be competing to showcase their talent and vie for national national supremacy. This is the final opportunity for athletes to qualify for the Carifta Games. Admission $20. Children under 12 can enjoy the excitement for just $10. Also, don't miss out on the big showdown in the senior men's 400 meters between Commonwealth semi-finalists Michael Francois, Adrian Peters, Troy Mason, and Sibile Felix. It's the Ariza National Athletics Championship, March 11th and 12th at the Karani James Athletics Stadium. Get your tickets now.
And so it begins. A journey like none other. Every moment has the potential to be unforgettable. Bring home a piece of the tropical green forest with every emerald. Capture the sparkling light of flawless water in a diamond. Make the sunrise and sunsets last forever. With precious colored gemstones, the essence of happiness is in our most precious memories. So, when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will last forever. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via superb service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibbin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
All right, welcome back, our viewers and listeners, and let's hope that we've gotten this problem rectified. The Honorable Senator, good morning once again.
Good morning, Innocent, and good morning to your audience, home and abroad. It's a pleasure being on your program to talk agriculture.
Right, and that's nice, that's nice. How are you? How are you doing, man?
Good, fine, Innocent. I'm living in the land. So that should be a good sign. Do you find I'm looking well?
I know usually politics sort of drain people a bit, but like it's draining you up.
In the land.
Okay, all right.
Did on the right stuff.
Okay, that's good. And let's get into the meat of the matter, because I know you're a very busy man and you have some time constraints this morning. How is agriculture in Grenada at the moment?
We're just trying to get off the ground. We're just trying to resurrect agriculture. As you know, agriculture has deteriorated significantly over the last 10 years. The former administration really and truly didn't give agriculture the kind of attention that it needed, or it ought to have had. However, the new talk on the ground now is that agriculture is back, and I can confirm that it is back to stay. So the fact that we are getting off the ground now, there are a lot of people who are coming home, who are living abroad, and they are coming back to do agriculture. There are a lot of farmers who abandoned the land because of difficulties and assistance and so on, and they are now contemplating and getting back into agriculture. It was only yesterday an abandoned estate owner reached out to me and asked me how we can help in the process, not necessarily getting back into production per se, but I think he's thinking on the line of making his land available to people who are interested. So I am very, very impressed with the level of enthusiasm, the renewed love for agriculture that is so badly needed in Grenada, because this is one of the productive sectors that we have to move. And I think the over 10,000 farmers who are involved in agriculture, directly or indirectly, and I'm talking about agro-processors, animal people doing animal husbandry, crop production, all the different aspects of agriculture, honeybee production. These people are now, they have renewed love, and they are ready to get back into the agricultural sector and go forward.
So from a governmental perspective, is there a specific area that more focus would be given to, or are you going to approach it from a broadband aspect?
Well, I must say to you, we are not planning agriculture just for tomorrow or just for next year. We believe in long-term planning, and our objective is to do agriculture in such a way that it's well embedded and making its rightful contribution to the GDP. We'll be focusing this year in particular, and maybe for the next 15, 20 months, on food security. This will be crucial in terms of going forward. And tied into that is the whole question of how do we involve the young people into agriculture? We cannot continue bragging and boasting that the average age of our farmers in this country is 55 to 60 years. This is not a good sign. This is a terrible sign, and this is a threat to our food security. So what we want to embark on is really and truly the people who are there at it now to continue producing, but we want to get the young people involved in agriculture. The young people have a mind of their own, my brother. Their mind is wired for technology. They are very receptive to the modern way of doing agriculture, the modernized way of doing agriculture, and we want to embrace that effort. They are excited about it, and I'm happy to see that the Youth in Agriculture program, which we launched a couple of weeks ago. It's well, not even a couple of weeks, maybe a week and a half ago. The number of young people that turned out there, it was very, very encouraging. So the real area that we want to focus on is getting them back to the land and getting them back involved in agriculture some way or the other.
Okay, so having said that, well, now I'm very happy that you raised that point with the youth in agriculture. From an administrative standpoint, what sort of procedure, what is your methodology in ensuring that things will be done in such a way that it can keep young, because young people's mind, as soon as they see, as something that they expect to happen doesn't happen, they'll gravitate from it. All right, so what mechanisms does the administration have in place to ensure that the young people remain focused and that they are continuously motivated to keep on doing what they're doing in agriculture?
So first, we want to organize agriculture. Agriculture is done in Grenada really and truly you get up in the morning and tell yourself, well, there is nothing to do, you have land, you're gonna there, you do the land preparation, and you decide it on your mind, well, what should I plant? Should I plant tomatoes, cabbage? No, we want to organize agriculture in such a way that we can say to the farmers, you are asked to produce soursop, and every pound of soursop that you produce, there will be a market for it. We cannot afford to ask farmers to plant tomatoes, plant sweet potatoes, and at the end of the day, there isn't a market for it. We believe that the government has a responsibility to put the necessary structures in place, create the enabling environment so that the farmers will feel much comfortable. So we are working on trying to see how we can get some of our ground provision out of Grenada. We don't have enough to eat as yet, but there's a demand outside there. There's a demand in Europe. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had a meeting with an exporter who has access to sea transport, and he's prepared to visit Grenada, have a dialogue with us, and see how we can get the ground provision or the root tubers produced in Grenada, get it out of Grenada. So we'll be embarking heavily on yam production, sweet potato, dasheen, tanya. Those are the crops that Grenadians need to eat, and but we do not have enough. And what the point I'm making here that if we do not have enough locally, and there are people outside there asking for root crops and tubers to export, it means that production has to boost. So the prospect of root crops production looks very, very, very good. And that is one of the particular area that we'll be looking at. So when the demand for honey production is in full, I mean, there's a lot of demand for honey production, and we really and truly want to embrace that opportunity. There is a growing demand for sea moss production. Now, when we're talking about in not too long ago, the fishermen used to go out at sea, dive, harvest the sea moss, and come back and shoot. Today, they can stay on the shoreline and cultivate the sea moss. And when they cultivate it, there is a market for it. There's a young gentleman that wants to export a lot of sea moss to Canada. So the young people will not be frustrated with the whole question of producing the stuff and cannot get sale for it. When you produce, you want to market, you want to brand, you want to package, you want to sell, and you want to make a lot of money. And if those structures are put in place, I don't think that the young people will get frustrated. I don't think that the young people will turn their back on agriculture. So we just have to, as a government, we just have to plan well, organize well, get the people involved, and make sure that we put the necessary structures in place.
Well, I happen to know you as it relates to work and especially the business of the nation. You have a sort of no-nonsense approach to this. As I told you before we came on, I'm seeing you more in the field than inside your office. All right. Every time I turn on my TV, I'm seeing you in a water boats and something somewhere. With the minister tasked with the responsibility for agriculture, are you going to enforce, have firstly a structure in place, a team structure in place that will overlook and ensure that the plans are being executed as planned? Because the public sector has this reputation of having the portfolio. Okay, so I am responsible for this and that is my job description. But in eventuality, it doesn't happen. That's just the title. But the actual execution, ensuring going out as you are doing, going out into the field and seeing what is happening so that the wrongs can be righted. Are you going to ensure that this happens? Because I do not think this is the dispensation where we could just get lip service as is the norm, especially within the public sector, the public service. So you're going to ensure that, because again, coming out from the classroom, I know this. I know students that gravitate into adolescent and moving up to young men and women. As soon as things do not go as planned and as promised, they don't have that patience as the older folks like us. As soon as it's not working as they anticipated, they gravitate. So by that you should know that there will be a challenge to ensure that they are being. Yeah, do you agree with this?
Of course, I do agree with it. And like any other business, I mean, you cannot blame the people for if they're not making the kind of progress that they want to make. Is move and try something else. The young people of today, they would not sit down and procrastinate and go over things 10 times before they get it. They want to get it and they want to get it now. This is not bad. I mean, even though you need to have a little patience in terms of doing things, but since we have put structure, we have already put structures in place. It was only yesterday that my PS was saying to me that he has already called the coordinators for the different programs. We have livestock program, we have fisheries program, we have root crops, we have agro processing. Those we want to engage in some cold storage facilities also. Those coordinators have already been called in. And I'm going to tell you something. We have a project that was about $10 million from the World Bank. You will realize that one of the challenges we face in Grenada is the whole question of implementation. Hence the reason why the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation was created. And that ministry has a responsibility to ensure that every cent of the money that we either loan or been given in grant is well spent. So the coordinators and the people responsible for the various areas in the ministry, albeit that we are very short on staff and professional staff, we're very short on that. The fact that the agriculture was abandoned, very key positions in the ministry are missing, and we are, for the last 6 months, I have been paying a lot of attention to that, trying to see how we can put the right people in the right place to ensure that the work is being done. That's going to take a while, and it is taking a while, but in other words, innocent. We're driving the bus with windscreen, the wheels are smooth, the fan belt is making a lot of noise, the doors cannot close properly, we have to tie it, but the bus is running. And in the meantime, as we proceed, as we make the necessary progress, we will fix the bus as we go along.
We're stopping by the garages on the roadside.
even though we are hooked up by the roadside and somebody has to come and put on a tire bus, we will keep the bus rolling.
I love that analogy.
The bus will continue to roll, and we will get it right. But as I say to you, we do not intend, it's not a fast fix. We're trying to build something for the next 10, 20 years. And that is how you make progress, not by just trying to do something for tomorrow. The bananas that we're planting today would not be ready until next year. So people have to have patience. The cultivation of sea moss might take about 6 weeks, but you will not get it in the morning. So you have to have that patience. And we do not want to get trapped again, Innocent, in the whole question of for the last half a century, we have been growing cocoa and nutmeg and still exporting it in caucus bag. In other words, we're producing a lot of cocoa, a lot of nutmegs. However, we are not producing enough millionaires. The products have the potential, and therefore, it brings me to the point of agro-processing, adding value. And that is where a lot of young people are coming into agriculture. We cannot speak about agriculture in the context of cutlass and fork as the limitation.
That's extinct now, man.
Agriculture is much more than that, and that is the new initiative that we want to introduce to our farmers, and especially the young people.
As it relates to animal husbandry, that's an area of passion for me because I love pigs. All right?
Exactly.
Yes, and one of the concerns that people involved in animal husbandry has is the cost of feed and because what we find happening, and I try explaining that to a lot of people at times, trying to circumvent the feed, the artificial feed that we refer to it as artificial feed, right? We try to circumvent it by substituting with other things. Some folks go and get this stuff from the breweries and so forth. But from a scientific approach, because I've done that, from a scientific approach, for some reason, folks, we've got to take a break. I've lost. All right, he's back. Good. All right. You feed your animals in the proportion that they should be fed, and you get production at the time they're supposed to get it. So you don't get stunted growth. But the cost of it is a problem. I've asked the senator with responsibility for farmers in the Senate, Senator Roderick St. Clair, last week. I asked him what can be done to get the price of feed down. Is there any plan in place from a government standpoint to tackle that? Because that is one of the burning issues that people involved in animal husbandry have.
I have met with the poultry farmers. I've met with the small ruminants and piggery people recently, and one song, cost of feed. Now, cost of feed takes into consideration cost of production. So the bigger picture is that it costs too much to produce the kind of meat that we want in Grenada. And as I have always said, Grenadians nowadays, they are addicted to meat. People want to eat meat. The demand is there. I mean, the amount of chicken that comes to Grenada, it's really and truly, it's amazing. And therefore, if we can produce that locally, I think it will augur well for the agricultural sector. But the way things have been done in Grenada for the last 10 years, and farmers crying out for the cost of feed, it means that we are not getting it right. And the present structure in place, it would not get us to where we want to go. So what we have done, we have engaged Caribbean Agro. We held meetings with them. We're going to have meetings. We have other meetings coming up with them. And we're trying to see how we can work out, because the way things are going now, we cannot continue going in that direction. It has to turn around. The cost of production has to drop significantly. Farmers have given me the kind of figures they can work with. The cost of for day-old chicks in the poultry industry is amazing, because we have to get the eggs outside of Grenada. We have to get the day-old chicks outside of Grenada. Farmers set up not insectaries, but hatcheries, and they are not. They have to close it down. So the infrastructure for poultry production is there, and there are more infrastructure coming. But what I've learned is that a lot of times they get into the production business 6 months a year, and they have to close them because it's not the profit is not there. And an astute businessman will definitely want to make sure that his business is growing and is profiting, and what he puts in, he gets a little more. that will take a lot of time. However, the government have a responsibility to look into the challenges that the farmers face and see how we can address them, and we're going to be doing just that. We want to also bring in some new breeds of animals. We want hybrids whereby they are more efficient. Over a 6 months period, you should be getting pork maybe 200 pounds rather than 120 pounds. And I'm giving you this kind of information, and these figures coming directly from the farmers. If you're getting 120 pounds after 6 months in a pig, it means that it's not profitable. You want to pass over the 200-pound mark. You want to get the chicken maybe 4.5 pounds over a 6 weeks period. And if you're not doing that, then the equation would not work out well. And therefore, I am engaging the farmers. I promise the farmers I'll get back to them in 90 days' time, the poultry farmers. The livestock people, we are in the process of sourcing some good breeds of animal that we can bring into the country. We want to bring back AI in cattle. AI is what you call artificial insemination, where you don't have to bring in the cattle itself, but you bring in the semen. These different aspects will obviously bring production, livestock production, to the level that we really want it. We want to encourage people and foragers to get involved in rabbit production. Rabbit production, I mean, rabbit is a delicacy. I mean, $14 a pound of rabbit is a lot of money, and in some cases it's even more. And if it is driven by market demand and supply, it means that you can find higher prices. So a lot of plans are in place, and we're not making any joke with livestock production, because the market locally is available for it. I'm not even thinking about exporting for now. We are focusing on the fish for exporting, but the amount of meat that is being imported in Grenada, we have to reduce that significantly.
So in your engagements with farmers, right, you've instilled quite a lot of confidence in them that things will happen. Are we working with a timeline, especially, for example, as it relates to the cost of feed? Are we working with a timeline and things like that? So someone might be planning that, okay, I'm going to get into, because I am certain that you are aware of that. In recent times, a lot of people have shown great interest, especially in the production of meat, yeah? A lot of people are asking me, because some people, get to know that I sort of know about pigs and fowls and so forth. So they're asking, people's interest is very high.
Yes.
And as to whether they start now or later would be dependent on the costing. So what timeline are we working on?
As I said to you, I'm hoping to get back to the farmers in 90 days' time. Really and truly, the production of feed is not in the hands of the government. We have to talk to Caribbean Agro. Caribbean Agro is not producing corn in Grenada or soya bean that's the base for the feed and so on. So those factors will have to be taken into consideration. So in the coming weeks, days, we will be engaging Caribbean Agro again. And really and truly, you cannot vex with the farmers who want to make sure that all the structure is in place, so that when they invest the money, I cannot ask a farmer to put $100,000 into animal production, and he doesn't have an idea in terms of where he will be getting the feed from, what will be the cost of the feed, because you have to cost things if you want to be a good businessman. And you have to, and most and foremost, you have to make sure that you have an outlet when you produce. I want to encourage specialized farming in Grenada. Specialized farming is in the question of one farmer doesn't have to do everything. Your responsibility is to get 5,000 buds off your hands in 6 weeks' time and start another 5,000. The farmer who has to invest in the rearing of the buds, invest in the plucking of the buds, invest in the slaughtering of the buds, invest in the packaging of the buds, have to put his buds in after his slaughter into the back of a truck and go around the community and sell his chicken. Those are activities that somebody else can do. So right. I want to encourage farmers to focus on the production. And I want to encourage another batch of people to focus on plucking the buds and slaughtering the buds. And also we have country cold store, we have bulk buy. Those are the people who market it and sell it. So even between country cold store and bulk buy, We can find work for people who will collect the chickens after it has been slaughtered and go around and distribute it. The farmers don't have to be involved in that. That takes up a lot of time where you could have producing another 5,000 batch of chicken. And the same goes for pig production. The same goes for small ruminants. The same goes for cattle. The same goes for people fishing. The fisherman doesn't have to go out at sea, catch the fish, come back, sit down on the carnage in the sun, wasting time when he could have been getting another batch. The vendors have a responsibility, and we want to involve the vendors too. So when we talk in agriculture, we're not only talking about the livestock farmers and the crop production. The vendors have a critical role to play. The supermarkets have a critical role to play. The hotels have a critical role to play. And we want to make sure that all of them have that responsibility and play that role so that we can get the agricultural sector.
We're running out of time, but we need to have a longer conversation. We really need to talk. But the final... Yeah, the final question I'm going to ask, from your administration's perspective, is the aim to really revolutionize agriculture in Grenada so that people would not see agriculture as just planting and harvesting anymore, but are you going to take that holistic approach where it encapsulates all the things that you said, the branding, the marketing, the selling. We have to talk about marketing board, but not now because this is we need 2 weeks.
Let me say to you that I know some. You may want to say that revolutionize is synonymous to transformation. We have decided as a government that we have to transform agriculture. If you listen to the Prime Minister in his last budget, he itemized the areas that we want to focus on. At the top of it is health and wellness, a healthy nation. Secondly is education, key to the mindset of our people. And thirdly is the question of agriculture. I'm not going into the other sectors, but I'm just showing you the level of priority we have put on agriculture. You realize the first two that I've called education and health, these sectors will consume a lot of your resources. The agricultural sector is the sector that will generate the kind of resources you need to boost the other areas. So agriculture is very important. And the government makes no bones about it. They are paying a lot of emphasis. We are paying a lot of emphasis on agriculture. We believe that this is a sector that will make Grenada what it ought to be. Agriculture used to be much better than how it is now. However, in order to get there where we are, we have better conditions that exist today. We were much better off when we didn't have the modernized way of doing agriculture. Today we have the modernized way. Quicker production, mass production. We have transportation that can take our produce to Europe, to North America. So therefore we have to capitalize on all these facilities that are in place. And I believe that the government has seen that, and we want to capitalize on that and move agriculture forward and move Grenada forward ultimately.
Forward. Senator, would you accommodate one phone call? Okay, we've got a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, thanks very much, man. Senator, good morning. How are you? I'm a St. David's man, just like you.
Very well, thanks.
I did write you a letter sometime late last year. Yes, it's true, I have a disability. I got that as a farmer. I got burned in a coal pit and whatnot. I'm one-footed at this time. But I don't want to feel discouraged about farming. Cocoa is in season. I cannot go to the land to pick cocoa. I have to walk over a mile or so. I simply wrote you a letter and asked you, well, both of you, the two farmers, the two agriculture ministers, the same letter. And I haven't had a response, not even a phone call, and whatnot, etc. You know, I'm a little bit disappointed because I don't want to sit down in this wheelchair and feel that I can't do anything. You know, on Saturday gone, two farmers saw me sitting down on the ground with a cocoa knife in my hand, picking cocoa on a tree, a bamboo, with a rod. And they were amazed. I don't want to feel discouraged. When would you be able to assist me with the little road in Post Royal, the true road in Post Royal? That's where my lands are located. And I don't want to feel discouraged, disappointed and whatnot. You know, we know each other. I know you very well. I've been into farming for almost 70 years, maybe even long before you were born, probably. So I just hope, and I have 2 boy children, and they are into farming, and I am surprised and amazed to see how my bigger son.
All right, we seem to have lost that caller. For some reason, your audio is okay. The audio has gone. Okay, folks. I would have loved to hear the response from you, but two reasons. One, you hinted that you would have liked to leave at 7:45, and 2, the audio is gone. I think we had a healthy conversation. Are you hearing me clearly? All right, so it's something to do with the internet, but nonetheless, Senator, I'm sorry we have to wrap up like this, but in the interest of your time and the technology that seems to be malfunctioning, but I can guarantee you we'll have a much lengthier conversation in the not too distant future, right? Thank you very much. Folks, I do apologize for the way in which that conversation ended this morning, but I have to end it there. I've been speaking with the Minister with responsibility for agriculture, fisheries, lands, and cooperatives, and the Honorable Adrian Thomas. We take a break and we come back.
Last week on Our Climate Reality.
For the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, all countries are reporting on their greenhouse gas emissions. The agriculture sector is a big sector in many of the countries, and many of the reports from most of the countries. So in some ways, they're able to capture some of the information.
Impacts that are common incipient and that have devastating effect on your agriculture if you're not prepared. If you're not prepared in terms of the mechanisms that you use in your production processes. So you're talking about the extreme weather events.
Most soil conservation methods, given the fact that you see all these flash floods and things in the current situation with climate change, you need to have, for example, terracing, strip cropping. With the terracing, especially, our topography is basically undulating in Grenada. So you want to prepare soil in a way to protect them from excess rain, so that when the rain falls, the terracing is like step light. They wouldn't just come down with a gush. So in so doing, you protect yourself.
Join us this Wednesday on GBN TV, K105 FM, and GBN's Facebook page and YouTube channel at 8:30 p.m. on Our Climate Reality as Mr. Terrence Smith, Dr. Everson Peters, and Dr. Adrian Cashman discuss water and climate change. Our Climate Reality, made possible by Republic Bank, Hubbard's, and Classic Lighting.
Looking for that injection of vibes and energy, of course? Well, I've got just that. Hi, my name is Gary Mr. Smooth, and I'm inviting you to join me on the Hot Morning Show on Hot 98.5, 98.7 FM. Weekdays, Monday to Friday, 6 to 10 in the morning. I've got a healthy dose of your favorite and most infectious hits sampled with information, news, laughter, and all the other ingredients that go into making the hottest morning show on the radio, the Morning Heat. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit us up on WhatsApp, 435-7517. We've got topics, we've got discussions, calls, voice notes, and so much more. But I can't tell you everything. You gotta tune in. The Hot Morning Show on Hot FM 98.5, 98.7 with yours truly, Gary Mr. Smooth. Kaboom!
All right, and it's just about wrapping up time. We had a relatively late start this morning. The news ran over a bit and so forth. But nonetheless, let me interact with our Facebook and WhatsApp platform users. And Sylvina Charles says, well, firstly, Zephyrin McLeod says, good morning. Good morning, Zephyrin, and hope all is well in Long Island. Sylvina Charles says, good morning, Innocent, and everyone tuned in at this time. God is a never-failing God. All right, Zephyrin says, remember, Donnie comes up on the 7th of April. Get your tickets at the, your regular ticket outlets. Mary Ebang says, good morning. And Catherine Phillip also says, good morning, Grenada. Good morning, Innocent. Hi, Catherine. Condolences goes out to the McIntyre family. So says Catherine Phillip. Lydia Cameron, good morning, Innocent. Have yourself a wonderful day. Thanks, and same to you. Veronica Sandy says, good morning, Gordon, Innocent Joseph, GBN, Grenada, Carriacou, Pity Matnik. Blessed day to everyone. Lydia Cameron comes back and says, it's very sad the way the young man lost his life. Condolences goes out to his family. Sonia Mitchell Scott says, good morning, GBN, Grenada, Carriacou, Pity Matnik. Good morning, everyone. Have a beautiful, productive day. Thanks, and same to you. Yulin Alexander says, good morning, Gordon. Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, Pity Matnik. Blessings to all on this terrific Tuesday. Have a wonderful and safe day, everyone. Good morning, Oswald Pele Dabo. Good morning, he says. And I'm going to add further to that, happy Thanksgiving to you, Mr. Dabo. All right. Diane Thomas says, where and when or how you're going to plant your tubers and be able to reap it. Thieves are harvesting before farmers. Okay, that's a concern. Sunset City, Grenada. Let us make it clear. Young people have not turned their backs on agriculture. It has always been the government that has not been putting the emphasis on agriculture. Diane Thomas, a word of caution to Innocent. Innocent, you're questioning our essays. They should be a sentence or two, I think. Okay, I'll look into that. Thanks for the, the hint. Cadella Henry Victor, some things are not very difficult to implement once we are strategic with the approach. That's correct. And Mary Ebang says, revamping agriculture is a necessity. It is the backbone of any nation. Young people need to be encouraged to get involved in agriculture. Low production of our produce are one of the reasons for a high importation bill. Those were the comments on our Facebook platform. Let's see what's happening on our WhatsApp page, and then we'll head to the BBC. All right. This user says, greatest sympathy to Sylvan McIntyre, and that's coming from Heather. All right. Good morning to my good friend all the way in Crushu that likes me repeating the thought of the day. And this user says the food security, we should talk about the food security project and youth in agriculture. Okay. All right, folks, this is where we've got to wrap it up now. We've got to join the BBC for that bulletin of news. And, of course, thank you for listening. We didn't have much interactive participation this morning because of, you saw what happened. But nonetheless, tomorrow we hope to have some more engagement. So thank you very much and have a blessed day. Those of you who have to leave us now, but if you can, stick and stay with us. We're with you. Bye-bye.